Our friend, the demonstrative, the knowledgeable John Gizzi is on the line. Brother Gizzi, when it comes to the North Carolina Senate campaign, is this Republican nomination Tom Tillis's to lose today?
Absolutely, J.D., and thank you for that introduction. About the only thing a gentleman can do after an introduction like that is die.
Oh, no, we don't want. Stay very much alive.
Like that.
Right. I've been talking to some of the responsible political strategists in North Carolina, and they do say that Tom Tillis, the former Speaker of the House, will win 40% plus one today, which is what the National Party establishment, the Governor, Pat McCrory, many members of Congress, Jeb Bush, and Karl Rove's American Crossroads all want. Now, the funny part is, given low turnout and the fervent following of some of his opponents, we can't really go to the bank on that. I would just say that the desire of lining up behind someone now and having them go one-on-one with Senator Kay Hagan may transcend and dwarf the followings of the individual opponents, Harris and Brandon. We'll find out tonight. Right now it looks pretty good for Tom Tillis.
Now, Senator Paul just joined in backing Dr. Brandon. How important is that? Is that going to have an impact?
I have to say that Rand Paul certainly is doing quite well in getting involved before primaries. And this is something to look at. In the past, National Party leaders totally stayed out of primaries. There was a no-gain situation from it. Rand Paul has weighed in very strongly behind Mr. Brandon, Dr. Brandon. Mike Huckabee has been in for Mr. Harris, a Baptist minister who has a very strong presence on local radio and TV. This is unusual historically, but it's happening now. Now, Rand Paul came in Florida to back Kurt Clausen, who won by a landslide over the state Senate Majority Leader in the 19th District special primary. His batting average is pretty good, almost major league quality so far.
Okay.
So, with the situation that's coming up, seems to me, having gone through this myself in 2010, John, you can have passion, you can have the grassroots, but unless the grassroots gives up the greenbacks, you got problems. And as I understand it, Tom Tillis and the Rove, Bush, Romney establishment crowd, the Chamber of Commerce, has come in there and really poured money into this race. Tillis has raised it himself. The other candidates just have not come up with the money. And money, if you don't have it to get the message out, it puts you at a disadvantage.
Well, J.D., it's the old saying that you and I have heard our whole lives. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, did it really fall? If you don't have the money to make your case, you can be the best candidate in the world right out of central casting, but it just won't work. Let me add to that cornucopia of early Tillis backers the National Rifle Association and the National Right to Life Committee.
And of course, that situation a little bit different because typically NRA and Right to Life will back incumbents. Obviously, we're not going to be with Kay Hagan where she stands on the issue here, but they will look at other office holders. Now, it is true Tillis, in his role as the state House Speaker, the Speaker of the General Assembly in North Carolina, arguably could be considered an incumbent, but that obviously, those two organizations help embellish his grassroots connection, and it'll be worth watching there too.
He's the only one of the 8 candidates vying for the Republican nomination who has held elective office. And again, if these groups treat him like an incumbent, so be it. My guess tonight is that he probably will scrape together enough votes, either from gun owners, pro-lifers, that he should win over 40%. But as I said earlier, Rand Paul's got a pretty good batting average, so does Mike Huckabee. When you have those people actively working, not just issuing an endorsement, you're better off than you were if you were alone. Let's put it that way.
John Gizzi, we always appreciate your perspective, your knowledge of political history, and your incredible vocabulary to even work the word cornucopia into the information about Thom Tillis. We appreciate it very much.
You are coruscatingly bright, J.D. Thank you so much for having me.
Another good word.
And
And next time you come on, we'll have you sing the theme to Scarecrow, starring Patrick McGowan. That's the other thing about Gizzi. He's an aficionado of all things in terms of modern history and television trivia and, of course, politics. So
And
he always
stay
has
healthy.
insight. Yeah, that's
Right?
right. That's right. We want him back. Appreciate your help, Morgan. And here's where you can let us know what you think about the North Carolina Republican primary. You can tweet us at Newsmax TV, #Americas Forum. There's also email and Facebook, and we're coming right back.